dedicating this episode to DC Comics.
Today we are covering Batman, the Batman, I'm Batman.
With a hesitant outlook, very hesitant, on Suicide Squad number 2. Will they recover?
I can't wait, so let's start the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to enter a world where we geek responsibly. That's right. If you're going to be a geek, you gotta do it responsibly. Here are Jenna and Bridget, your hosts.
When no one is around you. It tastes like burning. That's perfect.
And we are here for your pleasure. No.
Well, I can talk louder. It's gotta get off mute. And I need you, baby. I wasn't gonna say much more better.
Man, that's not responsible at all.
Welcome to the podcast. Hey guys, welcome to episode 5 of Geek Responsibly, episode 5. Today we are talking about DC, because fuck Marvel.
We just focus on Marvel a lot, so we wanted to give some love to DC.
So what do we got going on? What do we got going on today?
We're giving some love to DC.
Oh, alright. We'll start showering some love.
Perfect. So, one thing that I was looking at in news around everywhere, actually, was that they were talking about the Batman movie that is coming around by Matt Reeves. It is currently, from what I saw, not in production yet, but they're trying to get everybody kind of all together. I remember we talked briefly that Ben Affleck is not going to be playing the Batman, so no Batflick.
So my question, though, I want to ask is, because it's saying The Batman, there was a 3D animated show called The Batman. Is there any connection to the two that we know?
I did not deep dive that much.
Okay.
No. I saw that there was multiple directors changing. Batman stepped out. Ben Affleck. I'm Batman. Stepped out.
Flew out.
If you saw the Jimmy Kimmel, he actually had his, bat suit fly or whatever.
Oh my goodness.
It was really dumb. Anywho, but he's out, and then Matt Reeves is taking over. But there was some kind of rumors stating that there will be potentially 4 villains. I hope so.
I don't know if that's a lot for one movie, or if this is going to be, maybe they're planning out multiple movies.
I think they're wanting to have maybe a trilogy. So I don't know if that's going to be the case, or if it's literally going to have 4 in 1.
So it could be 4 villains in one, because they could have a team up. So maybe it might be maybe not our top villains that we normally see.
Which I would love.
Because that would make sense if you have 4, because then maybe they're not the greatest ones, but then put together could be dangerous.
X-Force.
Yeah, danger, stranger danger for villains, but not strangers, because we know them. Well, that got weird. Anyway.
So I wanted to go over some of the villains that we may want to see in The Batman.
First, let's go over the ones we don't want to see. Because I feel there's ones that were done well, but also ones that we see all the time, or that you would assume to see in a movie.
Yes.
So it was funny because we were talking about it, or thinking about oh, what ones would you want to see? And I don't know if it surprises anyone else, but the first thing we both agreed on was not seeing the Joker, because we see him all the time, and it makes sense because it is his, it's with Superman and Doomsday, or Superman and Lex Luthor. It's it's the opposite of Batman. It's chaos versus order. But I feel Batman, the Batman, could probably stand alone without having the Joker in it.
Yeah. So that is the Cape Crusaders' number 1 villain. We see him quite often. He was in 89 Batman, as well as in the Dark Knight series. Played very, very well by Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
But He's also going to be having his own movie. Oh, he was also in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, he is having his own movie.
He's having his own movie. Suicide. And now Joaquin Phoenix is playing the Joker, and that might be his origin story, which is great. So we're okay with having him sit out.
But that's okay. I know we're supposed to talk about Batman, but we are going to talk about the Joker. I don't know how I feel about having a Joker movie that is his origin story, because the whole point is we don't really know what it is.
Well, I don't know what the Joker is going to be about.
But that's what I liked about with Heath Ledger is, like, he kept telling people different stories of how he got all fucked up. So you're not really, like, he's kind of a mysterious character. Because otherwise, if you go on what was going on in the comics, he was this dude with a big red dome and a cape, and he was a part of this team, and I can't remember, I think they called him the Red Hood.
Oh yeah, Red Hood.
Red Hood.
Yeah.
But he looked stupid. So he had this big, like, plastic dome over his head, and they went to go rob that warehouse, and he falls into the pit, and then gets all fucked up.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you remember Jack Nicholson as the Joker? Like, that's the Joker origin story. Because it was a Batman with
I can't remember. I can see his face.
Multiplicity. What's his name? Oh God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You guys are gonna be so mad at me. He was in Multiplicity. He was Michael Keaton.
Is that who it is?
Yes.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
So it goes Michael Keaton. How do you not know Mike? So
I know who Michael Keaton is.
Who do you think Michael Keaton is? Who do you see?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's like, because I keep thinking Multiplicity.
All I can see is Jack
Nicholson's face. No, not The Shining.
Here's Johnny.
Did you ever see Birdman?
No.
Did you ever see? Oh, Jesus.
Everybody's gonna be so mad
now
at us.
All right, hold on. You have to see his face. Type in Michael Keaton. See? Michael Keaton. Batman. There's the Joker. So it's Michael Keaton, 1989, Batman. Then it goes... it's either George Clooney or Val Kilmer after.
I think it was Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer, George Clooney, and then it was... What's his face? The guy that gets really mad and yells at people on set. Christian Bale.
Oh, jeez. He actually was a good one.
Okay, yeah. So, sorry, we're looking at it. So, it's Batman with Keaton. I think Keaton is in Batman Return. Batman Forever, I want to say, is Val Kilmer.
Yeah, because that's his chin line for sure. And then that's George
his chin line.
Then that's George Clooney was in Batman and Robin.
Chris O'Donnell.
With Mr. Freeze. Chris O'Donnell, Alicia Silverstone.
Yes.
Uma Thurman.
Yep.
They had a great cast. That was one of my favorite Batman movies.
That was like the worst one.
I
think I heard a rumor that George Clooney has a poster of it to remember to never do that again.
Oh my God. I absolutely loved that one, actually.
I think that's one of them that I was kind of like, first one I saw, but so...
And this one terrified me.
Why?
Because when he died and all the black shit came out of his mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Why did it...
Danny
DeVito is creepy.
So, yeah, so if you look back at that movie, they kind of try to do the Joker origin story with Jack Nicholson a little bit, and then, you know, he comes out of it and he just starts laughing because he looks so fucked up. So, I don't know how I feel about having a Joker movie, and it's all, like, about his background, because you really could just make whatever. And I did like...
What if it's not about his background?
I don't know. Like, if it's not an origin story, I think I'd be okay with him already being the Joker. I don't know if I want to see him descend into madness. I think I want to see him already there and comfortable with it. You know what I mean? So I just don't know how much of it I would care to see of him being like that, because I there's a whole bunch of different things. And again, with Heath Ledger's character, I liked the mystery that you didn't know where the fuck he came from. He just showed up all messed up like that already. So, sorry. So that's why I'm kind of excited to hope that not to see Joker in the Batman movie, because I think we can start seeing someone else we want to see. And I educated Jenna. She had no idea that there is a Batman villain called the Condiment King.
So Bridget really wants to be a part of the Batman.
I want to see him in there. I really don't know much about him. I've seen, like, my husband actually told me about it. I was like, are you kidding me? And this guy, like, shoots cannons of ketchup and mustard. You'll see him in the Lego Batman video games. He'll show up in there. But it's just like so crazy that you have this like fucking rando character. I was like, yeah, let's bring that fucker in. Let's see what he can do in a Batman movie.
Batman's all like eating at a restaurant,
He's like,
and he's
fuck
like,
you.
"Did you want ketchup?"
I don't know. So, and he's got some crazy characters that we never really see, but I thought that would be really funny. We were talking about like Ra's al Ghul and like how we really don't want to see him again because we've already gone through that. There's the Lazarus pit and all that shit. Mm-hmm. His daughter could be interesting, but you see a lot of that in the animated series because I think the DC animated covers a little bit more. But I think we're both wanting to see Poison Ivy because I'd like to see her again. I'd like to see some ladies. For sure.
Well, and I know Uma Thurman played a pretty decent Poison Ivy, but I think we can do even better now with like the type of style that we can get from Batman.
I think she played the femme fatale pretty well, but I do think it can be played a little bit differently. But I think in a lot of those movies, you're getting those characters that are just, granted, I think they did try with her and Mr. Freeze to be evil, but have some kind of heart. But it would be nice to kind of see something a little bit more compelling as far as a villain.
Which she kind of had Bane in there too.
Well, she had Bane, but she's like, oh, my little plants, my little babies. And she's like, and everyone like sucks and the world sucks. And that is kind of like Poison Ivy because she is like a botanist, I think, a scientist. So it is a lot of her wanting to like, fight for the plants. Mm-hmm. It'd be kind of interesting, but again, like that team up, if it is 4, well, it could be really cool.
But the nice thing about that is if they do put Poison Ivy in there, I think that's a great setup because we already have a fantastic Harley Quinn as Margot Robbie.
I personally don't want to see Harley there.
No, not in the movie. This is a great setup for the Gotham Sirens.
True. Okay. There is an animated movie that has Harley in it where she teams up with the ladies. Or she's fighting the ladies. I can't remember which one it was.
Well, it should be the ones that...
It was her and Poison Ivy and a couple other people.
Yeah, so the Gotham Sirens are Catwoman, Harley Quinn, and that they have a whole series.
That's someone I also want to see again, too. I'd like to see a good Catwoman Batman. Like, Michelle Pfeiffer... can't beat that suit. She looks fantastic.
Yeah.
But
then they had Halle Berry as the regular Catwoman.
No.
I didn't watch it.
We're just going to go right past that. Never happened.
No?
Nope.
Was it bad?
Nope. We're not talking about that. It was horrible.
I've never seen it.
It's good.
I stopped
it. Don't see it. It's awful. It's so bad.
I loved Michelle Pfeiffer. But again.
Yeah, she looked great.
That was the time of my favorite Batman movies.
I know. I kind of came into that, like, again, Chris O'Donnell for me.
Yes, see?
I don't know if it's because they put the nipples on the suit or what it was.
When they turn around and it's like, yeah. But as we were talking, not Poison Ivy, or with Poison Ivy, having her there, we would not want to see Bane. I think Tom Hardy did a fantastic job of playing Bane.
But I did like the one that was with her in the movie because that is a quintessential... The thing is, Hardy did a good job as Bane because Bane is supposed to be very intelligent.
Yeah.
He's not supposed to be the and then the Venom.
Yeah.
Like the Venom just makes him like get huge, but he's very articulate and a very intelligent guy. So I do like how he did it, but I'd like to see another rendition of that, I think. I don't know. Maybe. I don't think they actually, and there is no connection between her and Bane.
No.
So I'd have to, actually don't know much about Bane. I'd have to go back and like watch it.
Yeah.
Now I can think of Venom.
In you just kind of said Clayface.
Yes. So. I want to see it. I want to see Clayface. I think with 3D stuff, it could look really cool. And he can look like other people. So it'd be a little bit like, what is it? Terminator with the liquid cop. But like Clayface, because you could have like different actors kind of playing.
Scary face.
But like Clayface could be really cool. And you could have him played by different actors or something. That could be an interesting way. And I don't think we've ever seen Clayface besides the animated series. Yeah,
and to go off of what you were saying, like the CGI creation would be really cool to see with somebody that has that type of feature.
Yeah.
Another that I would absolutely love would be Enigma.
Yes, another Riddler I think would be really good. I did like Jim Carrey. I think he did a good job. I do like that you kind of see So unlike Joker, I like watching the Riddler descend to madness.
Yes.
I think he did a good job in the movie, but the show Gotham, I really was enjoying.
I love Enigma in Gotham. Like, he's one of my favorite characters. Whoever plays that guy is oddly hot.
He did a good job. Yeah, I
probably because I want him to cut me up too. Please kill me like all of your other girlfriends, Kay.
I really have to. I haven't come across him in the animated series because we're kind of my husband and I are restarting to like watch it, and because I didn't really get to watch too much of the animated, I really came in for like Justice League, so I don't really see a lot of the Riddler in there now. But I think that would be a good character to kind of come back in and see, and I think he could work well, or could not maybe necessarily work well with a team, but he could, like, you could have these team of villains and they're kind of, you know, using each other to get whatever they are, you know, what they're looking for.
Yeah. Well, in his character in Gotham, I love how intelligent he is.
Yeah.
So I want it to be like the battle of wits.
True.
Like, and he's very, very creepy. And his riddles, like, in Gotham are amazing. Like, yeah. And the way that he undermines people? Like, so how he kind of played. Did you watch where he was the Penguin's like right-hand man while he was getting voted into being a mayor or whatever?
I want to say yes.
So before he had that henchman. And so Enigma was able to manipulate the whole situation without you even knowing. Like, you think that Ed's not doing anything.
Yeah.
But it gets to the end and he finds out that, or he gets it to show that the Penguin's henchman is the one that's been going behind Penguin's back. But he got him to confess without even like doing anything. It was so cool because I was like, this guy is super intelligent and he's just played everyone.
Yeah.
And they didn't even know it.
I think, and that's the thing I do like about some of the Batman characters, is that you do have these really intelligent villains, and it would be nice to see them a little bit more in the movies, because you do have, like, even though the Joker, like with Heath, he was crazy, but he was smart. He was very, very smart. Bane, not so much with Poison Ivy. I don't really know how smart Poison Ivy was. I'd have to go back and rewatch that movie. But
she wasn't really. So you had a couple of characters in that one. You had Mr. Freeze.
And did they? I don't know if they like worked congruently together. It was just like different storylines, which I don't know if I liked or didn't like, or if it ended up being like too much.
Is there going to be too much with 4 villains? Are they going to blend together? Because Mr. Freeze was separate from Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy was kind of going after Robin, and she kissed him and then he had those rubber lips.
Yeah, the rubber lips. I remember that.
But then I was like, why did he not kiss me?
I can't. And I don't know if it's the 4 villains where it's like, it's going to be an opening scene and it's Batman putting down Clayface. So you see a villain and he's in there for like the first 5 minutes and then you don't see them after. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It depends on how they do it, because we've come into stuff where, like with Marvel, they have a good way of like doing different stories, but it takes them a while. But right now with the DC live action, they're having a hard time with they are struggle busing hard. Like with dealing with different storylines and how they tie in with each other, even if it's their heroes, not even like the villains. Because Suicide Squad was kind of a clusterfuck. And the only thing that really stands out in my mind is the Joker, because I liked him as the Joker, and I really was more
I thought they amped him way too much, and it was super not.
It was
campy.
There were there were certain parts that I really enjoyed with him, and there was other parts where I agree, where it is a little like he's a gangster and he's tattooed up and it says damaged on his face, and it's like, okay, it's a little much. And there were some spots, but there were other parts that I really liked how he played it. But I was more invested in seeing the story with him and Harley, really more than anyone else, honestly.
Yeah, but I saw the Fire Guy, Joker Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah. Which they didn't.
Like, you should have done that beforehand, because now you threw all these characters together and we're like, here they all are.
And they're not established. I mean, the closest you get the established is when they're going through the files and they're like, oh, here's the Enchantress. And you're like, okay, that's it? Like, that's all? And then the whole movie is going to be about that. And you're like, I don't fucking know. You got
Killer Croc, and then all of a sudden you're like,
he's in a sewer.
Oh, okay. that works. And now he's broken out of jail.
Yeah. So it's just I don't know. Maybe maybe they'll do the 4 and they'll have it work together, or they'll be established characters. I don't know if I want Batman to be an origin story again.
Yeah.
Which I don't really know if they really have done origin. They kind of skim. It's funny. Superman gets a lot of origin stories. Batman, we always skim over that his parents get shot, and then fast forward, he's Batman. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
Gotham was the first, like, actual, we're going to take it slow and go through it. But with Gotham, it drives me nuts because he's not Batman yet. Because he's like this little boy. And I was like, yeah, be Batman. It gets difficult.
Aw. Did you watch it where you see the Joker in that one?
No.
You're missing
yes.
out on.
Well, I don't know if they
Gotham.
claimed he was the Joker or not. It was the kid from Shameless.
Then you missed a lot of it. That
I
Joker.
only watched. I think I watched a couple seasons where Fish was still there, and then I think Fish was like murdered, but then she had like a weird white eye. There was like that. She was like in some asylum or something.
Mm-hmm. She breaks the fuck out. She's a badass.
See, and I need to. I don't know. I have to go through it again because it's like when I talk about the Batman animated series, I think that one is supposed to be, when you're watching that show, it's supposed to be his first year as Batman.
Got it.
So it's not like he's already Batman, but he's still kind of like figuring out. It's either that or it's the one with the. There's another one, and it was like a kiddie one a little bit, and it got super dark, but it was the Joker, and he has like dreadlocks, like long dreadlocks. Have you ever seen it?
Fuck?
He looks weird as shit, but like he's a very interesting Joker. But there's like one of the series that's kind of like his first year as Batman. The original animated series, he's already established as Batman, and it's fucking badass if you've never watched it. But yeah, I mean, they can go a lot of different ways. I'll be intrigued what they do with the villains for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, to touch base, I really wish they do have another Catwoman.
Yeah.
I never did see Halle Berry as Catwoman. I did like Michelle Pfeiffer, but she didn't have a big role. Again, back in the day, they had because who was in there? There was the Riddler, Two-Face, Catwoman, and
Two-Face was in there?
Two-Face was in there.
I
It
don't
was
remember.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh.
And he would flip the coin, and the Riddler was there. Yes.
I remember his hair going. It was like pink hair. And
that was 4 villains
he
in
was
one.
so like flamboyant a little bit, and every time I think of him, I always think of him as Men in Black, so it's such a very different.
Oh my god, I love Men in Black.
Yeah.
Don't
New
know if I
one.
like the new one.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it.
But it's Chris Hemsworth. I was like, Chris Hemsworth and the other chick are
Valkyrie.
from Ragnarok.
Yeah,
I'm like,
Thor
why?
and Valkyrie.
Why are we putting them in? They came back to fight the aliens.
I guess so.
From
They
Ragnarok.
just put suits on. That'll be interesting. I keep seeing trailers for it, and I was like, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it. Gosh.
But we also talked about Mr. Freeze. I don't know too much about the animated series, so Bridget, do you want to take the floor on? We do want to see a Mr. Freeze rendition.
So this came up a conversation because Jenna was also talking about the Werebat, which is Man-Bat. Now, if you watch the animated series, the first episode has the Man-Bat in it, and it's animated beautifully. And essentially, it's this guy who injects himself with like bat essence or whatever, and then turns into this horrific
guano.
Yes, injects himself with bat guano, and it turns into the Man-Bat. But the thing I really like about the animated series, which I think DC has always been really good at, that Marvel wasn't so good at, is DC has been killing it with animated because they write really well, and the stories that they come out of it are fantastic. So like seeing a character like Man-Bat could be, if written right and put into live action, could be really good. So one of the things that they did is with Mr. Freeze. And essentially what happened is Mr. Freeze has been in the comics, I think, forever. And when they rewrote Mr. Freeze, because he didn't have a backstory, he wasn't any kind of crazy, like he was kind of like the Condiment King. He was just kind of like there. And what the animated series did is they rewrote him entirely as a character. So in the 3rd episode of that, called Heart of Ice, which won an Emmy that we were looking up, because they had rewritten the character, we have essentially Mr. Freeze as who he is today, which is he is essentially, he had his wife in cryostasis to cure her disease, and Nora, and he gets he, you know, his boss is like, yeah, no, we're gonna have to shut your fundings and cut you down, and he's like fighting him for it because it's essentially it's making him saying we're gonna let your wife die.
Yeah.
So then he gets pushed into like the cryostasis, and then he can't survive outside of sub-zero temperature. So then he ends up being Mr. Freeze. So essentially, a lot of it is drawn to, you know, he's doing that. He's upset because he couldn't avenge the death of his wife, and that was completely rewritten and redone, and that's the Mr. Freeze we have now because of that.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see it. I'd like to see him again. Arnold,
maybe not in Arnold.
Yeah, maybe
now
not.
The
in
guy
Arnold.
that played it in Gotham was actually pretty decent. Did you see that episode? They did do the wife and everything, and something happened to him. They had him in one episode, and he was pretty awesome. And then all of a sudden it got to, like, he was in the insane asylum, but with a bunch of other ones. It was really weird. So, like, they start, like, you'd have to watch Gotham, but they weren't in the,
now with Gotham, they weren't in insane, they were, like, in an underground facility, weren't they?
Because it was attached to the insane asylum.
Yeah, because essentially, like, wherever they're putting them in, it's, oh, shit. It's called something, because that's where Amanda gets them.
Fly chick was. Do you remember the fly chick?
No, but
she was like she had like a bug thing and she had a flamethrower.
Firefly.
That's it. Yeah. Fly chick.
So she stole that from her uncle, who was like the original Firefly dude.
Oh, not in Gotham. She had to make it in order to help her brothers steal, or they weren't her brothers. She got like
so it's a dude, I think, in the comics, and I can't remember if he's Firefly or something else, but it's like a giant like flame shooter. Yeah. But I can't remember what it's called. They're called something because essentially where they're storing them in Gotham, I believe, is the place that Amanda puts them all, because that's where she puts them in for Suicide Squad. Like she puts them in. Can't remember what it's called. I'd have to Google it. But yeah, so it's the same thing that they have in Arrow. But he keeps putting all of his villains in this one spot because the government, he didn't know, but the government's like then going in and taking him out.
What?
Yeah, fucking A. It's gonna drive me nuts. I'm gonna have to Google it. But yeah, so there's that. But I think Mr. Freeze could be good because the thing is about the animated series is if you just stick to one, if you do one villain and you really just give it the time, you could have a whole movie and really go into depth and you can get something. I don't know if Mr. Freeze is like the one to do, but I think you could really just sit in it.
Yep.
And just like take a second and see what you do. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, and you were talking about how the animated series currently for DC are just killing.
Yeah, so every time so we have Marvel, but I don't really know how many animated Marvel there is, but every time that there's a new DC movie, my husband and I tend to watch it, and the storylines are fantastic. Like, they're very, very good. So everything, like, I feel like even the Marvel's been killing it as far as live action, I think DC is always kind of one-upped them as far as the animated stuff. We are just watching the Teen Titan ones. The Teen Titan one where Raven.
You mean just Titans or Teen Titan Go?
No, I don't remember what it's called, but it's a Teen Titan movie, and Raven is just joined to the team, and we find out about her dad, and essentially she gets forced to like bring him to the world, but he also possesses some of the Justice League. So you're having Damian, who is now Robin. You're having them like fighting Superman. You're having Cyborg fighting Blue Beetle, so you're having like all that kind of stuff. But like they have that kind of series. They have the Justice League Unlimited, which is probably one of my favorites. Like the
really?
Justice League Animated is probably one of my favorites because I love the Flash. The guy who plays Lex Luthor in Smallville, Michael Rosenbaum, I think. He
sounds familiar.
He's the voice of Flash, and he's probably like one of my favorite musicians.
Did you watch the Flash TV series? Did you like it or
all
no?
day, every day?
Really?
Yeah, Grant Gustin I think is an amazing Flash, and I kind of wish that he would have brought that character to the movies. Yeah, honestly, because like I like the Flash that they have in Justice League, but the heart that you get and the emotions and everything that you get from the TV show is probably one of my favorites.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. And I remember I didn't watch the Flash TV series, but I watched him join Arrow a little bit. Yeah. And I was like, oh, he's cute. Fun? Yeah, I liked him. So good.
I would recommend watching the anime movies if you haven't.
I haven't.
There's a wonderful one of Batman.
Are they on the DC streaming?
I'd have to check because we own them all, so I'll have to just bring you the DVDs. And I'm not sure because then if we want to watch it, we'll like YouTube a scene because we won't want to watch the whole thing. But there's one I'd have to figure out. What the name is. But it's Batman, and he kind of gets introduced to the Owl Society, and that's where he finds out there's Damian. Mm-hmm. And Damian is Batman's son.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So there's a whole story with
is Damian the kid of Catwoman and
no.
Oh, is it? No, wait. That I'm getting mixed up with. I almost went with the commissioner, not Gordon. James.
Shit.
I was gonna say that crazy ass bitch, but that's not.
Who's the crazy ass bitch that you're thinking?
In Gotham, it was Gordon's ex-wife or ex.
Oh my God, no! What's her name? Who is she playing? Terrifying. Because she was supposed to be someone else in the show, or someone else, and she turns into someone else.
She's turned into this weird kingpin right now.
So Damian is Ra's al Ghul's grandson. So Talia, his daughter, who they made gay in Arrow, because she was dating White Canary or Black Canary.
Got it.
So she actually has sex with Bruce Wayne, and then her son is Damian Wayne. So like that, there's that little connection.
Weird.
Yeah. So like there's that.
Was she gay before or after
I don't
Batman?
Know. I don't.
She's
know.
Like, Batman turned me gay.
I don't know because I don't even know if that's even in the character or in canon. I know that they had Talia in the show, but she was dating Black Canary. White Canary.
I think it's
Black Canary. Then she dies and turns into White Canary. In the show. Yeah. And then she goes on DC Legends, which is still going, but I stopped watching. I actually kind of stopped watching after Captain Cold.
I didn't see any DC Legends.
So they had sorry, spoilers. Sorry, guys. DC Legends, they had one of the season finales, they had Captain Cold, and he was like, I'm going to save everyone. He died like a hero, and then like once he left, I was like, Because I liked Captain Cold and the fire guy, because they were the two guys from Prison Break.
I love Wentworth Miller.
Yeah, he's the main character dude who gets the tattoos all of his body. He's Captain Cold.
No way.
Yeah, and then the guy that's like his fire dude is like his bigger, older brother.
Lincoln.
Yes.
So they're Link the sink because he comes at you with everything but the kitchen sink. I love Prison Break. You do know that my cat was named Schofield because of that.
Really?
Michael Schofield.
So they're in DC, the DC Legends.
Now I need to watch it.
Yeah. But like, and the thing I liked about it is then they had this.
That's why I didn't watch The Walking Dead, is because I hated Sarah Tancredi.
Oh my gosh, really?
Even though she dies in Walking Dead, I couldn't do it because she still was with Wentworth Miller. The one thing I did like about it is then they had one of the DC Legends where they're like traveling through time, and then you see Captain Cold, but you meet his husband, and I can't remember who he's married to. The guy, like, he shoots light, I think. I'd have to figure it out because he does like prismatic light, I think. I'd have to go back and watch it, but it was very interesting, like, to see that. Yeah.
But yeah. There's that. We can
just sit and talk about this the whole time.
So again, check out DC Animated. Their stuff is amazing. I would recommend Justice League, which is great. Batman, the original animated series, came out on like Blu-ray. It's like $100 and something. It's worth every penny because they have these really cool like behind the scenes stuff. Also Superman animated was really done well as well. So like story wise, killing it.
Which I'm glad. Do you think it's similar to Marvel live action?
No, I think there's just some things that when you're animated that you can just get away with, and it can take you out of some of the reality. And I just think you can do so much more with animated stuff. But the animated series I really like because then you have an ongoing arc, so you have a much longer storyline that you would have gotten from a movie. Mm-hmm. But their movie stuff, I think they do a really good job on, getting the characters that they want to get. One that's popping in my head right now is Green Lantern First Flight, and it's talking about like one of the girls that comes in and she's part of the Corps. and you're talking to all these other Green Lanterns, and they're giving her experience of what they've gone through. So it's a good way to like get different backstories on characters, but it's a good way to essentially talk to the characters in the universe that you may or may not have known before.
Oh,
so I don't know. Like, do you know anything about Green Lantern?
No.
So
all I know is Ryan Reynolds hated his Green Lantern movie.
Okay, so I would say, yeah, no, that's true. So I would say, like, if it's something like that, then maybe going and watching Green Lantern's First Flight, because then you can get like more of like an in-depth about the Green Lantern Corps and get to know little different things between Hal Jordan and other lanterns that are in there. So it's a good way to kind of like maybe almost watching that stuff before you read any of the comics.
TV
show? Oh man,
or
there was an amazing TV show and they canceled it. It's a movie, but there was an 3D animated show, and I think it's just Green Lantern animated series. That was really good and had an amazing art.
Were they little? Like,
no, they are full adults. You follow Hal. He's already established as Green Lantern, so you follow Hal Jordan, and he ends up having to. They're fighting like the Red Lantern Corps, and he ends up having to team up with a Red Lantern. It's him and Kilowog. And the story, and it's their ship, and the story is the AI kind of gets more and more intelligent, so Aya ends up being a part of their team. And essentially what ends up happening is they end up fighting the Anti-Monitor, who wants to take out all organic beings in the entire universe because
lovely.
Yeah. So there's that, and they're like, oh shit. And Aya, I think, ends up being a little bit infected by this because she ends up having a love connection with one of the characters, and she gets kind of hurt because she is an AI, but she's a little extra, like all girls, a little extra. Yeah. So she ends up getting kind of hurt and scorned. So she's like, well, I don't want to have these feelings, and I think the universe would be better without it. So she kind of goes into like the Anti-Monitor thing. So you have this whole arch with Aya and the team, and everyone's trying to like, save the universe. And then the show ends, and it kind of like has an opening for like things to move forward, and then they haven't done anything extra. So I'm hoping with the DC, now that they have that platform of their own, like the Netflix platform, I want them to go back and revisit some of this stuff and maybe continue stuff that they haven't done in a while. But they have some really good movies and TV shows that Marvel just wasn't on the same level for.
Interesting.
And I've always thought, as far as comparing the universes, I'm like, all right, cool. Marvel's killing it. They're great for live action. But DC's fucking destroying it when it comes to animated.
Interesting, yeah.
Did you watch The Killing Joke, the movie?
I loved it, yeah.
There's actually also a movie of like Batman, but it's Adam West. And it's drawn like that. It's like drawn 1960s. It's his character. It's his Batman. It's like how his character would move and how his character reacts with villains and how the villains were back then. And it's fucking fun. So they have those kind of things. They had one recently that's Batman, but I don't know if he travels back in time. I haven't watched this one yet, but he either travels back in time or it's a old Batman. I want to say he travels in time, but it's him investigating the murder of Jack the Ripper. So it's like very different, and he's back in that time in that genre. So there's very different ways and things that you can do with the animated series that I think sometimes you just can't do with live action.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's a lot of Batman movies, a lot.
Which is interesting, yeah. Which then when they go to a Batman movie that's live action, the only one that I think people really gravitate towards is like The Dark Knight.
The hard part, I don't know, like, I guess I like Christian Bale as the Dark Knight. I like that I get the idea that his armor should be padded and he should have armor, like an armored suit, because he's just a dude. But when you're thinking like Batman, like regularly on animated, you don't really get the idea that his suit is armored or that's like high tech. You get that he's a detective and he's got lots of gadgets and he's very, intelligent, so he has ways of kind of avoiding getting hit, but it's not like he's got fucking bulked up armor. So there's some pros and cons for the Dark Knight. And they never went on with, what's his face? Jordan Levitt being Robin. because they ended that, I think, with a little thing of him in the Batcave, like, oh, he's the next fucking Robin, and then they just ended it. I think because that's like the Catwoman one. Because don't they end up in Paris or some shit? It's like, boom, he blows up, but they actually aren't there.
I can't even remember.
Yeah, it's been
a
while.
Way too long ago.
There was 3 of them, right?
There was 3. Yeah. The Dark Knight trilogy. Yeah, I don't even remember. I think I watched them back in like 2008. So 10 years ago, I can't remember. But it's funny because everybody loves The Dark Knight, but not for Batman.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that. I'm like, I feel like a lot of that got
I didn't even know it was
Joker.
I didn't even know it was Christian Bale. Now that you say it, I remember. Oh yeah, that was the Batman, and now I can kind of see him.
He was the first one to do that voice, and I was like,
yeah.
Where are they? Like, I don't know.
So then that's what everybody. Scary face.
Scarecrow. There's Scarecrow in there too. No, there's. Was it College Humor? Yes.
Scary face.
No, it was the one. He's like, "Where are they?" He's like, "I'm Bubbles, the clown." Donde estos drugos? Where are the drugs going? Yeah.
Oh, those make me laugh. So in other news,
outside of Batman realm,
yeah, because Batman, you're doing great. Animated series. Let's just figure out. Hopefully, the Batman will be good, and we're not sure if they're going to do 4 villains, if they're going to have like a trilogy.
God, we should just do an episode talking about some of our favorite characters.
We should.
I mean, I know we kind of did, but like, I think I kind of want to go more into it. Just saying.
We should definitely kind of outline it for next time.
You guys should write in. Let us know like a character that you guys want us to talk about. Even if it's someone we've never heard about. Like if you guys want to know more about the Condiment King, I will fucking deep dive and get all the information because I feel like it needs to be shared with the world. And there's like the dude in the Flash where this like he jumps from mirrors, Mirror Man. Like there's some cool shit. No, dude.
Is amazing. I should probably look at some more.
Yeah,
I only look at the main ones that you always have.
There's this other one I have to tell you about before we move on. I want to say he's a Flash character, and all I know from this guy is he's dressed super fucking weird. He's got like a red furry cape, yellow pants, purple something else, and glasses. And Mark Hamill played his voice, and the guy's like a psycho. And it was an episode.
Is it the Joker?
No, it's not.
Mark Hamill did play the Joker.
No. It's an episode of Justice League, and the Flash, like, they find out this guy has escaped from Arkham or an asylum or wherever, and they're like, hey, he's out again. He's like, aw, damn it. So he goes up, he finds him in a bar, and the guy's like, I'm gonna take over or whatever. And he, like, talks him down. He's like, hey, Pete, like, when's the last time you took your meds? He's like, oh, it's been a while. He's like, okay. He's like, well, you're gonna need to go back. And he's like, oh, all right. But it's just, like, an interesting... it was so interesting, and I don't know if the guy, like, has personality and he like switches back and forth. I wish I could remember his name. My husband will remember it. But yeah, so if there's any obscure characters that you want us to learn about or just something you want us to talk about as far as I think
that would be fun.
It'd be fun just to find one going, this is what I found. Let's talk about the Condiment King. Like it's fine.
Let's talk about the split personality guy.
I will find the name for the next one for sure. So I can
please let me know.
It's gonna drive me nuts.
I would actually love to hear that. So still on DC, I was explaining to Bridget that, the way that I brought it to her attention was, did you know that they're making a Suicide Squad 2?
And I was like,
yes, which was my thought exactly.
Yeah, like,
to make it even worse, they had a couple of different individuals.
It's the Trickster. What did you go? Oh, just Mark Hamill and like voices?
I knew what it was.
Yes!
It was the Flash.
Woo! Steve for the win.
The Trickster. So if anybody was yelling and screaming at us, Mark, sorry that you were yelling at us too. I guess Steve was?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Yay!
So, there. At least she knew. She saw
I had
it.
an idea. It was painted in my head. Oh my god.
Are you trying to look up something different?
No, you're good. I'm on my phone. Yes, I'm looking up for something, but I'm here.
Okay, got it. No, you're fine. Then I'm going to continue. So Suicide Squad, I told her, hey, it's coming up. She got all upset, and I was like, totally understand. I'm going to make it even worse for you.
I don't want to invest any emotion into this.
Yeah, well, it already bombed. But then I was like, remember when I said that my rendition of Suicide Squad, or what I thought it was Suicide Squad. A Story of Deadshot, with appearances by Harley Quinn. Harley's ass, pretty much. Or Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
Per se. So, with that, they then asked for this next movie 2 people to come back to it, which were, obviously, Will Smith and Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
Which, Margot Robbie, from what I heard, has not responded. She is going to be in Birds of Prey.
Which is going to be on the DC one.
Yes.
Who else is supposed to be in Birds? I think Dove and Hawk might still be in it.
Yeah.
Because Birds of Prey, I think, is Robin, Dove and Hawk, and maybe someone else. I'm not sure.
Which I have no idea.
I don't know. I barely know any information about that. Sorry, guys. We're not informational today. We're like, I kind of heard about this, but I don't know what it is.
Exactly. We're going the wrong direction here. So, and then Will Smith said, no, I'm out. He's out of the whole DC universe, everything. Which then I was like, well, maybe it's because he's now Aladdin and he's in Marvel and he has a contract with Marvel.
Them. Oh, yeah, he is. Damn it, Disney.
Was he in Marvel?
Well, no, because he's the genie, so technically...
That's what I said!
Marvel. Yeah, I just remembered that Marvel is Disney. I'm like, God damn it, Monopoly.
Yeah, so maybe they have a weird contract going and saying, hey, Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you can't be in DC.
That would be in Marvel. Shitty.
Wouldn't it?
That'd be really
his
shitty.
His excuse was scheduling conflict. I don't know why he sounded like Sean Connery weird, oddly.
Well, it's not like anyone's watching YouTube Red. I don't know if it's that or if he's wanting to, because he's always been known for, not swearing and kind of being family friendly. So maybe they want to take it into they were taking it to a dark direction. Maybe he didn't like the character. Maybe the character himself was like, you know what? I'm just not. I don't want to be a murderer.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
typecast. He's like, no, I'm done.
Yeah, maybe he's also because he's older and he can choose whatever the fuck he wants because
he's Will Smith.
His wife's hot.
Yeah, she is.
Him and his wife and his ex-wife are they're all friends, which was interesting. If you've ever heard interviews and stuff about that, it's actually really interesting. He cheated on his ex-wife with Jada Pinkett Smith.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's uncomfortable.
But then, yeah, there's some weird scandal. But Jada Pinkett Smith is such a cool lady that after all of that was said and done, she befriended it was very interesting.
I think, so when you were telling me that he decided to back out of it, I'm wondering if he probably feels like he's explored everything he could with that character. Because you do want to move on.
Well, and we've noticed that if you get... Lately, because of all these comic book movies, people are getting stuck in these characters.
For a long time.
Like, Chris Evans, all we know him as is Cap.
And I don't know how much he really wants to be that. And
he doesn't.
I know. But I feel like with Hemsworth, the other Chris...
he loves it.
He loves it. But I think he also really loves it that it's switched. That's changed. Because Thor's not. Like, since Ragnarok, he's not the same. But... yeah, you've got these people who go, hey, I don't really want to do that contract because I don't want to be this character. I don't want to be signed into this character for 10 years. Because then I don't know. I mean, what else has Captain America done outside of...
I haven't seen him in anything.
Can he... I mean, that's the thing. Can your schedule even work with that?
I know he wanted to do a lot of directing.
He did that Snowpiercer thing with the people on a train, and I think they eat babies or something.
What?
I don't know.
No.
Spoilers! I don't know if that's the actual part of the story, but it's something about being on a snowy train, and I think babies were eaten. I'm not sure.
Jeez. Okay.
Not sure what happened there.
Well, I did remember him in one movie that I loved before he was Cap.
I think I know what you're talking about. Is it with the whipped cream bikini?
No. Now that you said that, I love Not Another Teen Movie. I forgot there's a banana in his ass.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking of one with Anna Faris, and he's like her neighbor.
Oh yeah. Baby, like she was like a nanny or something.
No.
Wait, Anna Faris.
Anna Faris. She wanted to she's
going through her exes.
Yes. So she said, because if you had over 12 or 20, because she was going off of like one of those Cosmos quizzes that they're like, you've had more than 12 people, like you've already missed your Mr. Right or whatever. So she goes back to her exes. I just remember that one where she goes to the doctor and he's like, I don't remember you. Oh. It's the OBGYN.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he like checks her and he's like, oh, you.
So weird.
That's creepy.
That's so weird.
But yeah, he was really hot. What were we even talking about?
About being signed into
Chris Evans.
being tied into that contract that maybe that's why Will Smith probably isn't gonna jump on it. Because you could get stuck you're almost typecasting yourself and you're stuck in something that you might again, and with this whole Marvel DC, I don't know if they're doing something where like, hey, if you do this, then you can't be a part of anything else. And that could be really restricting.
Yeah.
So it might be something like that.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, again,
but I'm happy he decided against
He said no. Now, the thing that I thought, so those are already really bad strikes against Suicide Squad. One, it was already shitty. Two, it sounds like they're doing one that's going to be a remake instead of like
they're
continuing.
They're
like
redoing.
We're sorry, guys. That was shit. We're gonna try it over again.
By the way, there is a animated movie about the Suicide Squad.
Oh, really?
It's done very well.
Oh, well, we're going back to the animated.
So you should probably see that.
But what I was going to
and I like
tell
Copperhead.
everyone,
if anyone sees it, Copperhead's my favorite. He's like the snake guy. Fucking awesome.
That makes sense.
Sorry, continue.
Because he's like a king cobra, a copperhead snake.
I'll strike you. Should have done video today.
We may have lost the Fresh Prince, yet we gained someone else for Suicide Squad, which I had to tell Bridget that it was none other than James Gunn.
Which makes me a little bit excited because I was like, okay, because I really do love Guardians of the Galaxy.
They're like, I love.
And he handles team very well.
Yes.
Did he write those?
I believe he did. I can double check, but James Gunn destroyed Guardians of the Galaxy. I absolutely loved that one, and that actually kind of shaped out where Thor was going. Because before, I don't think Thor was
that
as
much humor.
There wasn't.
No humor.
They hit Guardians of the Galaxy, and then they were like, "Oh, this works. Let's add it to Doctor Strange. Let's act
now." And I remember that too because when they were saying they were going to do Guardians, we're like, "Well, one of your characters is a raccoon, and it's out in the middle." Like they were. It was funny because for Marvel, it was kind of out there, and everyone's like, "Oh, I don't know how it's going to work," because you're asking a lot of your audience to,
like a tree dude,
a raccoon, and it ends up being probably one of my favorites.
It's my favorite.
Yeah,
like I can go back and just rewatch them. But then I feel like I have to watch everything because when they meet in Infinity War with like Thor, and he's like, "Oh, the pirate angel," and then I'm like, "Oh my god, this is amazing." Is it Al? Who's the guy that plays the blue guy? Is it Al Roker? No,
Goldblum, Jeff
Goldblum.
You mean the Grand Maester or Grandmaster?
No, gosh, no. I'm not talking about Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, you're talking about the whistle?
Yes. The whistle.
He's the guy. He's the dude from Walking Dead, and he chops his arm off, his hand off.
Well, he's from tons of stuff, but that's okay.
Al Roker.
It's not Al Roker.
Al Roker.
It's something R.
What's his name in that?
It starts with an M, I think.
Shit. No. What's his name? Shit. What's his character's name? Z.
It starts with a Z. Zoltron.
I feel like I keep saying Zoltar, but that's not right because Zoltar is the fucking machine from the movie Up or Big that he puts the coin in.
Yes.
So all I'm thinking is the movie Big is Zoltar. That's not it. God damn it.
Oh,
I just played the Telltale game and I can't remember it. Oh no. Shit. Xandu.
That's right.
There we go. Xandu. Yondu.
Michael
Xandu.
Rooker.
It's what the hell? It says Xandu, but it's Yondu. That's weird. Why is that coming out?
No, it is Yondu.
I know, but like
it is Michael Rooker. I knew it was a Rooker, not Al Roker.
Said
because
Xandu, but it's Yondu.
Al Roker is from Good Marty the
Jesus.
No, he's not Black Jesus.
No,
Black Jesus.
No.
Just kidding. Black Jesus. Have you ever seen that TV show?
No, I just can't believe I was stuck on Zoltar. I'm like, well, I gotta watch that movie again. I just watched it. Now I want to watch Splash. Damn. Damn you, Tom Hanks.
Oh my. Okay, so anywho, James Gunn going to be writing and directing.
So maybe
there is hope,
but they still don't have a cast.
Not that I know of, but it's supposed to be coming out August 6th, 2021.
So that's my concern. If it's 2021, because we're 19 right now,
I do like the fact, though, that Marvel's
no
like,
cast.
oh man,
No
we
script.
have to cut people because of things they've done 10 years ago. And then DC's like,
Fuck
what's up,
this
man?
noise.
Let's do this.
Yeah. Well, he did so well. I can't. That's the thing is, like, he did so well with that movie. I can. They're like, well, we're gonna look past it. And they're like, hey, you can't say anything stupid. just let it be. I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I'm excited for that, but I don't feel like it's a lot of time for them to like still
Put
cast
something
and
together.
put something together.
They may have a cast. I haven't seen anything.
I mean, they've been working on a new He-Man movie for years, and it's like the people like Wonder Woman was in writing for years, but they kept dropping directors or dropping the script, and it took like forever to finally get it to work. So I don't know. One, if that August 6th is gonna work, and if it does work, I don't know if it's gonna feel rushed.
Yeah,
like video games where you're like, oh, here it is, brap. And you're like, oh shit.
Here's Mass Effect. Oh, half of the stuff doesn't work. That's cool.
Look at their dead eyes.
Look at Anthem. Look at their dead eyes. That looks like your girlfriend in bed. She just has dead eyes.
That's a sick burn to end this. That was good. I don't feel like we should top that. Just leave it.
That's way.
Just leave it. That's your girlfriend's eyes in bed. Ooh. Ooh. We need to get that. Oh. Bad.
That's what we're going to be saying August 6th, 2021, when we go together
to go see
Suicide Squad.
Even if
Are they
it's
going to
not
even call it Suicide Squad 2? We're going to go anyway.
Even if it's not there. Like, if it gets pushed back, we're like, it's
nope, it was August 6th.
It said August. I had a date for August 6th, 2021. It's in my calendar. They're mistaken. Like, it was supposed to be today.
Oh, we're going to watch it, and then we're going to be like, James Gunn, dead eyes. Dead eyes.
You Mass Effected it. Real bad.
Oh, my gosh. We'll write that in his tweets 10 years from now.
Oh, jeez.
But that is pretty much all we have. DC, we really are excited to see if Suicide Squad can spin it around with Mr. Gunn. No dead eyes. The Batman, we hope to hear some more things coming in and also figure out which villain.
I'd like to know. I honestly would like to know the villains. I don't want the surprise. I want to know what the villains are going to be. If they release that, I think it'd be good to know.
Yep. So, that's good.
And then if you haven't gotten really into DC, I'd recommend diving into the animated universe, guys, because it is really, really awesome. So, go that route.
Yay!
Do it.
Definitely.
Peer pressure. Do it.
And also, if you guys don't know, and you've already made it this far on this podcast, after all of the things we had to look up and were frustrated with us, we appreciate you. We also do have our Patreon that if you want to
snap.
Yes, go in there and be a patron of this. Maybe we could actually use some of those funds to look up things so that we can make this podcast better for you. So that's at geekresponsibly.patreon.com.
And if you like the quality, then it is, then keep listening and be a bum and not give us any money. Thank you.
We still love your support. Even $1 goes great. If you guys just don't eat McDonald's for a day.
Now you're getting like, what's it?
Salesy.
Not salesy. You're getting like
desperate.
You're getting McLaughlin right now.
What's McLaughlin?
Like,
wait.
Only $1.
Only $1. Do you see these poor...
You're supposed to say it. I'm the background music.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Okay, go.
Look at these poor puppies. All they need is a little bit of food and $1. I'm tearing up.
Okay, we gotta stop. Guys, if you don't do that, we're gonna start doing that for realsies.
I think I'm tearing up because I'm laughing so hard.
Yeah, so that's the new info. We wanted to drop that on you guys.
Yes. Again, if you do have anything that you would like to share or talk about, you guys can reach us on our website, geekresponsibly.com. Any of our social media, which is also located on geekresponsibly.com. And you can listen to our podcast, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube.
Yep.
That's about it.
Yep. So you always have to remember to
geek responsibly.